fucking thing. Hey, wrestling fans, this is Unpopular Review, the NXT review show. As you can see by our graphic, we had an wild Eric Bischoff appeared. There's so much other things to go on. We had 2 qualifying matches for the Iron Survivor matches. There were some other matches going on. Me and the Wrestling Dog, aka Sabrina, Estella, we're going to talk about it all after we played this lovely, lovely intro. What a lovely, lovely place. You hear me? Faces. Intro. Hey everybody, it's Unpopular Review, the NXT review show. We're going to talk about NXT. I'm one of your hosts, the Great Grand Slam Poobah, and I'm joined with, as always on Tuesday, the Wrestling Dog, aka Sabrina Estella. Sabrina Estella, tell the lovely watchers, how the heck are you?
I'm doing fine. NXT was good. My hair is a hot, horrible mess, so I switched it up a bit tonight. So.
You know, last week you had the orange hat, and now you have, or I like to call it like the old hip-hop hat. What kind of hat is this?
It's a bucket hat.
You know what? It looks stylish. I almost feel like the theme for tonight was like early 2000, and I should wear one of my old, I have the visor, the old visor hats where but you can see the hair out. I should have worn that, but I do not have that on. We see you guys in the chat. You know, real quick, before we start the show, we're going to start the show in a few minutes. We usually like to warm up before we talk about the show. George Samuel Lewis, he says, what's up, everyone? I want to say real quick, his birthday was on Saturday. I saw that he put that his birthday was on Saturday on the SmackDown Penitentiary show. I won't reveal age. I don't know if you feel comfortable with that. I know you revealed it that day, but we want to say happy birthday, George Samuel Lewis. We always appreciate you being here supporting Unpopular View. You're here on NXT.
I did wish him a happy birthday on Saturday. I was not on the show. I was watching the show. So
outstanding. So I want to
for over an hour, and we're going back and forth about quite a bit. So, and all I'm going to say is in regards to Raw, for the women, we finally did it. We have an Intercontinental Championship belt now.
It was almost like a matter of time, honestly. Like I expected them to have it. Now, honestly, for me, I thought that we wouldn't have that announcement until 2025. I thought, okay, cool. We have the Women's United States Championship going on. That tournament going up.
Community would have rioted. You think wrestling fans riot? Women's wrestling fans riot 10 times worse.
I think that was something that could have been waited for. I don't think we had to have that announcement yesterday. Now, I don't mind it. I think it's great. To me, it's like, so NXT, we have the Women's North American Championship, SmackDown, they're having the US one, but I feel like there was like this period of time, like, so they announced it WrestleMania weekend for the NXT. I'm trying to think of when they actually had the match. That was in June, I feel like, of that year. My point is, there was this period of space between them. I wouldn't have mind that, but I know the IWC can be something. Let's get more into the chat here. We got
the IWWC can be worse, like I just said.
You know what? There's a lot of W's there, and I hear you. And I already saw myself stumbling with the second. Like when I would say WWF, I almost felt like I had to like say it fast so I didn't mess it up. But I hear what you're saying, man. George says NXT was pretty solid tonight. It was solid. He said the ending was especially solid tonight. I disagree with you.
He didn't enjoy it, but based on my shirt, I was planning to wear this shirt regardless whether she was showing up tonight or not. But
you know what?
And I think it's going to work better, but we'll talk about that later.
I blame myself here because when I was doing the Superman and Lois review show earlier, I knew that there was going to be Sonic the Hedgehog talk because Sonic the Hedgehog 3 is coming out in December 20th. I had to wear some Sonic gear because I'm a big Sonic the Hedgehog fan, in case you don't know. Look, I can't reach him. He's too far. Maybe I'll bring him on later because Sonic is right here. But I should have worn my JC Jane shirt, is what I'm saying, to combat that person who should be here. And I'm talking about you, Gigi Dolan. How dare you? And I'm going to save it for later because I have a rant in me. Trust and believe, guys. I have a lot of yelling in my system. Really good NXT tonight. What's going on, Tom?
Where when the time is right,
I will look
for one of the members of UPR to clip that so that we can put it up on the interwebs and say whose rant is funnier, yours or Freckle Sensei's about Keith Lee yesterday for Monday Night Raw.
Oh, are you kidding me? I'm gonna beat Freckles because Freckles like he looked like the waving tube man. Also, his arms are like this. I mean,
like the waving inflatable tube man.
Yeah, I was telling so. Also, I thought he was gonna take flight and go away somewhere. I thought he was gonna go fly to Florida.
To anybody who disrespected Keith Lee in his words and probably tried to talk some sense.
And also, too, listen. You cannot disrespect Charmaine. Look, I know Charmaine can be a handful. I dealt with her. And listen, truth of the matter is this. You know, she doesn't have a side. I think she said she was going to vote for me. Then she said she's going to vote for Mike. Now she says she's going to vote for Katie. Look, you can't trust her. I get it. But you never tell one, who are we talking about again? I lost train of thought.
Freckle Sensei.
No, Charmaine, I'm sorry. You never tell Charmaine, shut up. Very, very rude. One Freckle Sensei. We got George. He says, I love the ending. Terrible. Also, I wanted to make sure you got this. Todd said that your hair looked great. We got Mike Ridge. What's going on, Mike? It's great to see you. He says, happy holidays, happy Thanksgiving on Public Review Crew from Mike Riggs. Thank you, Mike Riggs, for being in the chat. We got Todd, who also says happy birthday. He says, I'm 40 years old. That is a young man. Just a pup still. Elvis, hi, beautiful people. Happy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving to you, short man.
Well, somebody called Angelina Love and Miss Velvet Sky because apparently we're part of the beautiful people.
Ooh, who are you going to be? Who are you going to be? Are you going to be? What was the tall one name? Angelina Love. I could be Velvet Sky. I was thinking about my.
I'll be tall for once in my life. This is great.
There we go. We go. Rustling doll. You could be Rustling Love, and I'll be Jack Sky. I don't know how that works, but we'll make it work. Happy holidays.
You could have been Grand Slam Pooba Sky, and I could have been Estella Love.
I like that. Estella Love. That actually works. I love that for you. Good job. Good Chris in the chat says, I'm happy Gigi Dolan is back. I'm not. How dare you? I'm very, very upset. We're gonna get there. I promise you guys. We got Todd said BadGuy Jack didn't like Lita DeLone. Who? Who's Lita DeLone?
Oh, he's calling Gigi Lita.
Oh, I was gonna say, wait, who? Kelani Jordan was going to win tonight's contest, but she didn't, and I lost my smile. And then Eddie attacked Ava Johnson. That absolutely makes me angry. We got Good Chris. He said, my two favorite YouTubers. Thank you, Good Chris, in the chat. We always appreciate you being here. I just want to hit these chats before we go on to the show. We got Good Chris. I'm sorry, George. I'm sorry, George. My girl Gigi is back. Hellfire's favorite. Was it Harlot? No.
Favorite Harlot. That's her mom.
I think honestly, George, I think you're making stuff up. I think you fell on the keyboards and your elbow just hit a bunch of words. I don't believe no one says that at all. Barbara, I still got goosebumps running down my spine because Gigi Dolan. What is this Gigi Dolan excitement here? Did you not see the injustice here?
Okay.
No, absolutely not. No, listen, Rustin, I'd never like to yell at you.
The person who dressed as Gigi last year at MegaCon? Ouch.
Listen, I don't mean to yell at you. Listen, and you did a fantastic job. Nailed it. You had the rose and all that stuff. But why was she in JC Jane's business? Didn't JC Jane beat her in the feud? Didn't JC Jane?
No, technically Gigi beat her, but you're not going to agree to that. So anyways. When that feud happened and they had that match in that cage with all them chairs hanging everywhere.
But she cheated.
You sound like the executive consultant when we were watching Edge versus Seth at Crown Jewel in Saudi Arabia. Nobody cheats when you're in a cage with weapons hanging all around it. You don't cheat. There is no such thing as cheating in those kind of matches. You can do whatever. That's all I'm going to say.
I can't believe this is honestly the great disrespect act right now. What's going on with you, Sabrina? Still, I feel like I have been turned on. Matter of fact, I just want to point out right here. Just to let us know.
Kicking you through the door like when they recreated the Marty Jannetty, Shawn Spears barbershop spot.
I loved all of that. We got Venomous Venny here. He's in the Best Damn Movies show. What's going on, Venomous Venny? We got Logan James. Hey, Logan James. New bloodline help is Ava in NXT. We got what's up, guys?
You've been.
We got Jeffrey in the chat. He says, "What's up, Jack and Sabrina? What's going on, Jeffrey? How's everything with you, sir? You like that, Jack Sky? You like that, Jack Sky? See, George might like that one, Jack Sky. And Barbara, I really do miss you and Bad Guy for months. I have been really busy with wrestling community. Well, Mike, we appreciate you being in the chat. So we're going to talk about NXT. So why don't we open up? So I caught a little bit of this because I was in the midst of a review, so my notes are kind of
the review. So he was not able to catch much of the beginning of the show. So
I caught this though. Talk about it, Wrestling Dog.
But why don't you discuss it since you enjoyed this much more than I ever would?
So let's talk about. He also gives a lot of points for Gigi Dome.
75,000.
So let's talk about this. All right. So last week, Chase U has been shut down for the rest of our lives. Greatness, right? So we get a Chase U. We hear the Chase U music. Now I immediately started to have PTSD because I said, "Whoa." I thought this school got canceled, so I immediately started doing like this. I don't know if you guys are watching, but I'm immediately doing like this. I'm sitting there saying, what's happening here? So I see the Chase U band, and I'm like, nah. And then I saw Rich Hollins going, I said, absolutely, man. And I said, loved all of that.
I was not.
There was a lot of joy in my face when I saw this. It reminds me of like that kid in one of them Christmas specials, and he thought he's going to get some kind of gift and toy and all that stuff. Instead, he got coal. Love this. Love that for me. Love that for everybody who appreciate that. Good job. I high-fived myself. Rustin Dog, what did you think about the segment? I know you loved it. Tell the people you loved it.
I didn't care for it. I wasn't paying attention. I was on my phone when it happened. I don't like Rich Holland. Rich Holland still bores me. End the story.
Before we get to the next,
all I just want to see is what are they going to do with Andre Chase now? Because now I'm so used to seeing him wrestle in a button-up, a sweater, and pants. I'm just like, what are they going to do with him now?
Well, you know what they should do is he should dress up like one of the what were those guys called? Home Alone. Dress up as one of the Wet Bandits, and I don't know, just start doing crime or something like that. I don't know. But we're going to talk about Andre Chase because he did have a segment. Let's talk about this opening match. We had Ethan Page against Axiom. I didn't take a whole lot of notes. There was a lot of stuff going on. Axiom does Axiom things. You know, he's quick, he's fast.
He flies around going crazy, doing his thing. But Ethan Page was able to keep up with him, and they put on a hell of a match for the start of the show. So I will say
I agree.
That's one Miss Shea. So I was very happy to see this pop up on our TV screen. But nobody can say that Ethan Page can't put on a good match. Nobody can say that he's boring, that he can't do it in the ring or anything like that, because he's good at making himself look good and he's good at making his opponents look good. I really didn't have anything negative to say about this match. I was just happy to see that not both of them are going to kill themselves at Deadline by being in both the Iron Survivor match and defending the tag belts, which frankly, Nathan Frazier is going to need to work out very vigorously for the next few days to pump up the stamina, because he's going to be in a match for about 25 to 30 plus minutes in the Iron Survivor match alone, plus a possible another 20 to 37-minute match for defending those tag belts. It's going to be a lot. And also, why is NXT doing a better job at promoting their show next?
Mm-hmm.
But the main only put out this Saturday.
No, I mean, I think NXT has always done a great job when it comes to hyping up their follow-up show after this current week. You know, just to piggyback a little bit on what you were saying here. I thought this match was really good. I thought Ethan Page was the right winner. Look, Ethan Page was the last NXT champion. I think it made sense for him to win and be in this Iron Survivor. And also to continue the story with Nathan Fraser and Axiom. So Nathan Fraser, he's involved in the Iron Survivor. You have Axiom. He's trying to get in there. There's a last chance match next week. I'm sorry, I didn't really get all the notes here, so bear with me, guys. I'm going to try to go on memory here. Well, we got Axiom going on. We have Lexus King. We have Eddie Thorpe.
Alexander.
And Cedric Alexander. Now, let me ask you real quick here, Wrestling Dog. Was you surprised that Ethan Page won?
No.
Same. No, I'm in the same boat with you.
I honestly felt like it was the right way to go because I was just like, we're going to hear him moan and groan and complain about how he deserves to be in that match. And if I had to hear somebody else do that because we already had that from Eddie, I was going to throw myself through this one.
I you know what I had for Eddie? I know we're gonna get there, but I'm just gonna jump to it. This is what I have for Eddie. Can I give me a minute? Every time Eddie was crying, I just said, "Here you go, bro," because like that's all I saw the whole time. He just kept going.
He needs a box right now. He needs a box for the way that he's acting. He's acting.
Times are Wrestling Doll, my darling. Times are hard in New York.
Is he trying to reenact the Johnny Depp movie that he was in back when he was a teen, the movie Cry Baby?
So I that reference was great. I never saw that movie.
Neither did I, but I've seen clips. So
there we go. Well, you know what? Yeah, I was thinking about calling him Crybaby Eddie, because every time he's like, Ava, just listen to me, just listen. And then Ava, look, I don't pray for Ava's downfall. Look, I think Ava's done a horrendous job as GM. I think she's been very biased against JC and friends, but she didn't deserve to have the door slammed in her face. I know how that feels like. I've been in relationships, so I know how that feels like. It's a terrible thing. So I hated that for her. But Eddie did that. And then someone wrote online, someone said we had 1997 Shawn Michaels go. I said, now you do your job, Shawn Michaels? Where have you been this whole time? We're going to talk about the tag team stuff.
Ava do her job?
No, I think Shawn Michaels, Shawn Michaels seemed like the kind of person who, you put someone on his desk, he says, please don't have me do things. I'm sorry, I've been watching a lot of Family Guy recently, especially the old school stuff. It's been great. George is saying poor Eddie. What do you mean poor Eddie? All he does is cry. Matter of fact, you might as well get a caution sign so you don't slip and fall from his tears. What is this poor Eddie stuff? What are we talking about? What do we mean here? I'm sorry. I'm a little lit up. I'm a little hyped here because it is the holiday season. I'm not going to explain what is going on. All I'm saying is I'm having some eggnog. I don't know if you guys like eggnog, but eggnog is great. So drink some eggnog. I
haven't had it personally, but I'm having some water.
Eggnog is great. You should try it. I recommend it.
But after the match, Ethan Page is interviewed. He's saying that if you bet against all ego, you're going to lose every time. He puts Axiom over, telling him that he's a hell of a champion and that how he's going to win the Iron Survivor match. Nathan cuts him off and says that it's his kind of match and Ethan won't be able to keep up. And then Ethan says that he says that Axiom isn't the drive that, well, no, wait. Ethan pokes the bear, so to speak. And then he winds up saying that Axiom's not the driving force in our tag team, which he then backtracks. He's like, well, wait a minute. I didn't mean that. But then Wesley comes in, which I'm just going to say, first of all, when I saw my thoughts and dreads, I was just like, no.
Yeah. Oh, exactly. Like, it just felt so weird.
Wow, they must be so damaged if he had to cut them off.
Do you know what someone called him? They said they called him not Desmond Wolf. I forgot what his name was in TNA, but they called him his TNA name because he did look different. I didn't even recognize him at first. But carry on, please. Yeah,
I'm just about to look up what his former wrestling name was in
Please do, but I do want to read this comment here real quick and see if you're down for this. But one Todd, he says, you two ever think of doing a live NXT watch along, maybe once a month or something? I just would think your live would actually be entertaining, or maybe live go home show. Now we did a watch along
for the premiere when they did it on the CW, and we also did it last year for the first deadline.
So if one Wrestling Doll is interested in it, and if you guys want that, maybe that's something we can work into the next year, the new year. I'm sorry, and maybe we'll do once a month a watch along NXT. If that's something that you guys want, maybe that's something we will consider. Please carry on, Wrestling Doll. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're good, but I have to figure out a way to make it work because now I watch it on Twitch because it's the only way I can watch it without any problems. But then when Wesley comes in, he's like, which one of them's going to come in second since he's got this whole thing on lock? And then enter Javon Evans coming down saying, well, he's making his case that he's going to win as well. And all of that, basically saying like he's the young one, that he's going to be able to keep up with all of them. And then Out the Mud comes out and they say they don't give a damn about the Iron Survivor match. And they don't like that the tag champs are chasing singles gold, which is basically Nathan chasing gold by himself and then Axiom just copying him and egging him on, no pun intended, because of what happened before. And he didn't learn his lesson, so he's doing it again. And then Axiom's doing the same thing up to him again. And then a bunch of the other teams come out and then they start fighting out there.
You know, honestly, I've been actually digging this stuff with the tag teams. I find it very comical in a lot of ways. And I know we're going to talk about, might as well, I think we could just combine all the segments in, if you don't mind. But the segment where they were outside, I don't know who the fuck this was, but it made me laugh. Someone got hip tossed on a fucking car.
He got hit by two guys.
But that was so freaking great. Like, yo, I laughed so hard. I said, am I watching a Tom and Jerry cartoon? Because that's what I got out of this. And I fell the hell out. I do like this too because, so NXT, maybe I'm very biased here, right? I watch Monday Night Raw, SmackDown, NXT, a little bit of AEW, and I know there's all these other different wrestling platforms. Totally get it. But I feel like NXT have the best women's division, and it's been highlighted a lot, and as it should be. But their tag team division is almost like they're like, hey, we're here too, guys. And I just think it's been fantastic. It's almost comical.
For the men to get a taste of what the women's tag division down there had been feeling for the last couple of years.
There
and then
you go.
Moved up for no reason. But now that there's so many singles competitors down there in the women's roster and only one tag team down there, there's no point. But before, there would have been a point, but now not so much. And
now what we got here, and we're going to do a commercial break before we're going to go to the commercial break after these quick thoughts here. I love it, and we're going to get a tag team battle royal next week. So, do you got the teams here? Because I know we have OTM, we have Gallus, we have the family. And there's this other team, and I just don't know who they are. I know they're a team, and I've seen them once. It's these two black dudes. I just don't remember their names. And I said it with all the respect in the world. I just don't remember what their names are. And they had like one match. Maybe one match. I feel like they won against OTM.
Igwe and Tyson DuPont. Those are the two black guys you're talking about.
Okay, there we go.
And then we also have the two members of the No Quarter Catch crew.
Yeah, right. And I mentioned Gallus, but right, I forgot about the No Quarter Catch crew. But absolutely, but I love it. I love the chaos. I love that these guys are all pretty much sitting and saying, "I want a shot." No, I want a shot. I want a shot. They all just looked like it. Once again, I've been watching like Family Guy recently, guys, and I'm a big fan of like season 1 to 4. And just comes off like Peter Griffin in the. Oh my God, he's freaking Did you see this? There's two of them. Do you see this on the bottom? He's multiplying.
Insert Spider-Man picture here.
And he's pointing at he's just pointing at himself. But let's play a commercial real quick. We're gonna come back after commercials. I'm a big fan of playing commercials of people who play commercials of us. So we're gonna play a commercial, and we'll be right back after these words.
Can I ask a question about the Wyatt Six?
Sure.
When they first,
I said to you that Keith Lee is never going to amount to anything. This is it.
You did.
I said he's a jobber.
You did.
And that's all he is. He's a tub of Nutella. That's what he is. He's in a tub of Nutella. Okay? That's what he is.
Putting solo shit on me. We are not disrespect. Mr. Bask in my glory. Mr. North American.
What'd you say, Bask in my Robin?
At the same damn time. Future quote, same damn time. We are not better disrespect this greatness of a black man. We are not better disrespect this man had damn near carried NXT on his goddamn back. We are not. I don't give a fuck, Charmaine. Shut up. We are not better do this to this wonderful man who is married to this beautiful ass Mia Yim. I know she ain't that great right now. She's kind of like a genre. I don't know what the fuck they're gonna do for her, but still, we are not gonna have this slander for this man. This man did a fucking spirit bomb. His goddamn finisher was a fucking spirit bomb. This motherfucker is the king of nerds in wrestling. I would not take this slander. All right, I'm done.
Did you say bask in his Robins?
Bask in his glory, toys.
Bask in his Robins.
And he wants to play with him.
That was a good line. Bask in his Robins. Actually, you talked over him. I was going to clip it because that was a funny ass line. And then he said, we don't, Vinny, we don't fat shame, right? Because Vinny's over there fat shaming him, and I think that's a shameful thing. He's talking about Basket as Robbins. He says Tubby Nutella. And when you said something about Keith Lee was carrying NXT on his back, he said, well, there was plenty of back for him to be carrying. And that is terrible. That's terrible, Venomous Vince. You should stop.
Wait, I didn't say that.
Go ahead, look up.
For one of the members of UPR to clip that so that we can put it up on the interwebs and say whose rant is funnier, yours or Freckle Sensei's about Keith Lee yesterday for Monday Night Raw.
Oh, are you kidding me? I'm gonna beat Freckles because Freckles they're like he looked like the waving tube man. Also, his arms are like this. I mean,
like the waving inflatable tube man.
Yeah, I was telling so. Also, I thought he was gonna take flight and go away somewhere. I thought he was gonna go fly to Florida.
To anybody who disrespected Keith Lee in his words and probably tried to talk some sense.
And also, too, listen. You cannot disrespect Shawn Spears. Why was that commercial so quick? But am I lying, guys? Or...
No, you are not lying.
Yo, there was literally a
magic happens here, an unpopular review.
Honestly, not for nothing. He kept doing this. I said, why is it so fucking windy in here in New York? And it makes all the sense in the world.
Isn't it freezing up there right now?
Oh, I think so. I all shout out to Freckles Sensei. All it took was y'all guys. Listen, shout out to the Raw crew, Venomous Vinny, the executive consultant, and a big gust of wind from. I would love for them to like have a what do they call them? Inflatable tube men? What would they call
inflatable tube men?
I would love for them to just put that on him like somehow, some way. That was hilarious. He looks like. I'm sorry. Can we get to these chats real quick? The Chris Harris guy. He says, "Bad Chris in the chat." He says he lives in ATL. We have George Lucy that he looked like he was directing chorus. Just 23 effort.
All things NXT with the great grandson Cuba and myself, Sabrina, Estella. While this one is slightly recovering from this commercial that just happened, we had a brief moment in the women's locker room with Lola and Stephanie talking about how she wanted to help guarantee that Stephanie would get in the qualifier match. Stephanie was basically telling her in Spanish that thank you, but I didn't really need the help. And she's like, Lola's like, of course, but I still wanted to help make sure that you got that match. And then Stephanie left. Ren gets in her face, telling her that she didn't really need to come out with the brick in her hand. And she's explained how she's going to show Jada that all she needs are these, which then resulted in them having a match tonight. But after that, we get yet another episode of Degrassi in the NXT backstage area with Ashanti the Adonis and Nikita Lyons talking about what had happened last week. And he was telling her how he's not really into her like that anymore. Like he feels like there's something with Carmen, and that she's like, well, yeah, but you texted me. And he's like, yeah, I did. Who didn't I text? And at that very moment, like in every teen show, Carmen walks in at just that moment. And she says, oh, I never texted her, Carmen. I never talked to Nikita at all. And she's basically saying that she's done with all his BS and then just pushes him off with Nikita walking off. Nikita saying the same thing that some of these other women have told each other in promos before. If he has to choose between a little girl or a grown woman, shades of JC Jane and Thea Hale when she had said that to Thea Hale before.
Good.
But all I'm going to say is I was into it for a moment until it got to that moment when Carmen walked in at the wrong moment because I was just like, God damn, did they call in the cast of Euphoria? Because holy, it felt like that. It felt like I was watching an episode of Euphoria, minus the alcohol and the drugs.
Yeah, I never watched that show, but I've heard it was pretty intense.
It's very intense and very much more slightly realistic and a little exaggerated version of what high school could be. Kind of like Degrassi, but on even more drugs.
even I mean, I stopped watching. Right. And early Degrassi is like in the 80s because I remember Emma's mom, Spike. I think she was in that 80s period, and same thing with I forget what the principal's name was at the point. The one that ended up being with the mom. I forget his name. Was it Simpson? Was it Snake? I know his name was Snake. Which sounded like a terrible name to begin with, but I think this stuff that's going on. I know, like
I'm just happy that if this storyline goes well, that Ashanti will no longer be known as the ladies' man who tries to hit on everything that moves.
No, I feel like I was gonna say I feel like eventually they were gonna get to that point of like he was gonna like settle down, he meets the right one and all that stuff. And I mean it's a love story. I mean this thing has been done multiple times in wrestling. I think about the stuff about, and the most recent one I can think about, and I'm pretty sure there's something else, but work with me here, guys. I think about the stuff with Dolph Ziggler, Mandy Rose, and Otis, and I forget all the details because it was kind of convoluted. There was like Sonya was trying to keep Mandy away from Otis.
Herself, essentially, not to get distracted by Otis, and that she can do better, and blah blah blah, and think
all that stuff. Yeah,
Dolph Ziggler come in and pretend to like her and all that stuff.
I'm just saying it's
funny because we're probably thinking like behind the scenes when that happened. No, it's probably his idea. He'll get to work with the hot girl, blah blah blah, and then you hear from Mandy that it was her idea. Right.
And it was a cool idea. I remember Otis saying something. I remember listening to some interview about it. But my point to get to my point is wrestling, love stories in wrestling has been done before. They're trying to find a different way. They're trying to modernize it in the best of their ability.
One of the ones that comes to mind for me that I enjoyed and some people probably were kind of a little iffy about was the Index story. I mean, it did give us a WWE wedding that actually did go well, so.
It is, and it's not really often that it's not very often that we get good weddings in wrestling, honestly. So yeah, you're absolutely right. But to talk about Lola Vice against Ren Sinclair, I think this match was pretty solid. I mean, Lola's going to get the win here.
Of a taste of what Ren Sinclair can offer as a heel character. I mean, the crowd still pops for her because they were chanting for Ren. They did chant for Lola too, but they were chanting a lot for Ren. But match was great. Ren got a lot of offense in. She even did that spot where she tried to throw a Lola into the steps. I don't think she got all of it in because of the way that Lola held her head and was able to move a little bit more. It didn't look as effective as I wanted it. Maybe that was meant. That's with all that Ren put into to beat Lola Vice. Lola Vice wound up beating her, and I didn't know what it is. I like the new Titantron they gave for Lola. It feels more 80s as opposed to trying to look like Miami Vice.
I mean, they were gonna give Lola the Vice. I'm so apologize.
And I'm just gonna say
to
the new gear now. She just when she came in and started doing her original gear she had before coming into the WWE. Nothing against it, but I feel like she looks more generic now.
Oh, are you talking about the gear that she got on?
Yeah.
Talking about Ren Sinclair? You know, I think she wanted to switch it up.
No, nothing wrong with that. I just feel like it looks a little more on the generic side, which
no, and I totally understand. No, I was gonna say, like, I totally get what you mean. I get what you mean. Like, oh, it's no offense or nothing like that. I think she just wanted to switch it up because I do remember the look that she had earlier this year. She had
the one leg pant, one half short, which I get, but
you know what it gives so Zack Ryder, I want to say 2009 he had that look, 2010 I forget. I mean but he had a look similar to that, like, and I always thought that was like a weird look because like I've the executive consultant, shout out to him, one time he sent me a video and he had a hoodie and shorts on. I said, what is the weather like?
That's Florida for you. That's the Florida standard wear when you're outside.
Oh, okay.
In a hoodie and shorts and sandals, nobody looks at you weird.
Wait, hoodie and sandals? Hold on. I'm sorry. Look, I'm getting worked up right now. Hold on. Wrestling Doll, I don't want to be interrupted. Look at this. Look at this disrespect here. The Z is silent. He says, yeah. Hey, future female warden of that SmackDown penitentiary. Oh, I thought it was penetration. Oh, and oh, hi, Jack. Look, don't you dare come here to our show. Listen, the Wrestling Doll is with me. I would challenge you to a ladder match, but all I have to do is climb up 2 ladders or 2 steps, not 2
rungs of the ladder.
I messed up my joke. But all I have to do is climb. If I'm challenging you, one Z to Silent
at the top to ring for me, and you climbed up 2 rungs of the ladder to ring the bell.
But let me tell you something. He's not about that ladder life. He's not about that. He sits there and keeps saying, oh, yeah, I'm going to bring you to SmackDown. But challenge me, compete with me in a ladder match. Because let me tell you something. Sabrina Estella is going to stay here on Tuesday nights with the bad guy, the Great Grand Slam Pooba, because she's not going anywhere. Keep thinking that. Keep dreaming that. You have to deal with Vic, which I have now renamed him Vibrating Vic. You have to watch the Superman and Lois review and why I call him Vibrating Vic. It feels very uncomfortable if people don't understand what's going on. But his name is Vibrating Vic. All he does is vibrate. I'm so sorry. Please leave the show here. But how dare you come to my show and do that? You upset me, Vic Z. How do you say that? So you're silent and look at that. Huh? Yeah. I should be a voice actor. Please take it. No, and look at this. Look at this. He's working me up even more. Look at this. I would do anything for my future co-host. No, she's not going anywhere. All you're going to have to do, let me tell you what you can do, Z to Silent. You can watch Bill Goldberg match on repeat, deal with it, like it, and then you know what you can do? Get a peanut butter and jelly sandwich and drop it. How about that? Matter of fact, you know what I hope, Z to Silent? Because I can't believe you came to this show and start this stuff. I hope that your son, who is fantastic, by the way, I think he has a fantastic son. I think you're a fantastic father. I hope he leaves your refrigerator door open. And that way all your food gets spoiled. Now take over, Sabrina Estella. Here he is bringing all this penetration here.
Lola Vice calls out Data because we all knew that their feud was far from over. And they're going to have an underground match. So it's going to be her second or third one. And I knew that Z was probably watching NXT and was graced with the curls from someone he absolutely despises on the NXT program and Nikita Lyons. So he usually loves the curls, needs the curls, and will do anything for the curls except for those. But then he felt much better once he saw Miss Valerie Loretta get in that ring and win and beat Red Sinclair to the ground. And then we had Shawn Spears talking about Brooks Jensen about what a genius he is and how they got their match and blah, 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 et cetera, et cetera. And then you have Tatum Paxley playing with their dolls and talking to herself about how she's going to possibly win the belt and bring them back to her friends. When Fatal Influence comes in, tells her that playtime is over and to stop being a freak. But Tatum says that their past will come back to haunt them. A doll with discolored hair pops up and somebody reaches down and grabs it. And I think anybody that has a brain knew that it was going to be Hell's favorite harlot and Miss Gigi Dolan.
My eyes. I'm sorry. I'm a little worked up here, guys. I look right here. And I'm going to get to the next segment, but I want to make sure we get Z. We want to highlight him because he does Z does a fantastic job on the Friday. No, he doesn't do it on Friday nights. He does it on Saturday, but he does a great job on the SmackDown show. But he says, I don't appreciate you. Listen, I've been working with the Wrestling Doll for close to 2 years. I am probably, honestly, she's not going to say who's her favorite, but I'm going to speak for her. It's me. It's not you. Sorry. You're like top 5, but you're not even 5. You're like 6. We got Z. He says Jack is the type that eats cereal with a plastic fork and try to convince you that it's comfortable. I have the gift of gab. I'm sorry, you don't. So yes, I can do that. I'm the guy. Listen, I beat Abraham Lincoln on the coldest day in March. How dare you? I'm sorry, I'm getting worked up. Take over, because I'm about to start yelling again. And I don't think people want to see me yell. I'm going to say that for the end about one Gigi Dolan who should have minded her, or who highlighted this. Who did this? I hope everyone can vote for me for Best Fan of the Year. I've been with UPR since day one, and I should win and be the first female fan of the year. Listen, listen, Charmaine, I think you have done a fantastic job. You have supported one UPR for many, many years. You have done a great job. But I also sit here and tell you, one, madam, you have competition in the chat because we got Jeffrey Ryan, we got George. Z the Silent too. I know Z's a fan because he's here on the NXT review show. So he's up there to be a candidate. And what's this? I'm giving Z. What did he write for you to give him that points? Because he takes points for me. Jack, you talk too much. I do talk too much. I talk a lot. I'm very good at it. Let Sabrina, lovely voice, bless us with NXT review show. You should have heard it for the first few 30 minutes. You're late. But you know what, Sabrina, Estella, I'm going to give you the floor here because you do a fantastic job here. People don't want to hear me yell. Take the floor because I'm going to save that for when I talk about Gigi Dolans. So please, what's the next thing that we have here on the docket?
Well, we had Shawn Spears versus Tony D for the NXT North American Championship. And with Tony D not being at 100% due to last week, Jensen getting his knee stuck in the middle of them ropes and getting him a little bit injured. But match was fine. I mean, I didn't have any problems with this. I really didn't have any problems with any of the matches tonight, so I'm just going to say that right now. But this match was okay. I mean, I'm not really invested in the Shawn Spears, Brooks Jensen storyline anymore, really. I'm kind of over it. I'm bored with it. But, I mean, I don't really have anything negative to say about it, only because I didn't mind it, but I honestly didn't really care too much. I mean, Tony D had that spot where his knee gave out and we felt like
I'm sorry, I told you.
It was okay, but
yeah, no, I'm
wearing Gigi. And I'm wearing a wig because my hair is a mess. So that was for talk.
Okay, fair enough. But no, I'm on board with you about this match. Like, it was there, it was fine. They're trying to wrap up this feud between Tony D and Shawn Spears. And after the match, we have not extra Nico. He comes in the ring and he attacks the guy. Like, I don't know nothing about this guy to care. You know, like he's a big dude, sure, but all I saw is that he drives cars and he's rolling with Shawn Spears and Brooke Jensen. But I just don't. I'm not invested in this cat.
Like, what the hell do you think y'all are gonna do? She's not gonna go running off with y'all.
Right, they had to stare down with Rizzo, right? Yeah. I don't know what that's about. I don't believe that she's gonna turn on them, turn on the family. I'm sorry.
Boys, that's her family.
What does that mean exactly? I feel like people turn on Dom Toretto. I feel like that's happened. I feel like I gotta watch a Fast and Furious movie because I feel like someone in the chat. Did someone turn on Dom Toretto? Please tell me someone did that. Please, someone tell me that because I feel like I hear what you're saying. Like, oh, that's the family and all that stuff. But people have turned on people. Matt Hardy turned on Jeff Hardy. Christian turned on Edge when they was considered brothers. Owen turned on Brett. Family, they turned on people. Look, I if I could do a quick plug here. There's a possibility that we're going to do a Big Pop Theory and UPR collab on Friday for Survivor Series, and we're going to do Survivor Series predictions. So we hope to see you guys on Friday, 8 p.m.-ish. I say that to say is one of the co-hosts, he's a close friend of mine. I've known him for 20 years, and I would kick him in the dick. And I'm not sorry about it. What's the next segment we got here before I keep carrying on and going to a wrestling promo?
Well, you know what they say. If you don't want to kill each other, then you're not real friends. But
hello.
But we have the tag team brawl still happening outside. And before that, we had Giulia walking backstage. And then we have a little bit of another one of your favorite parts with just Andre Chase packing up the Chase U class. And then we see Memories of Everything. And then after that, we have Giulia versus Kelani Jordan for the Iron Survivor qualifying match, which I will say this was one of Kelani's best matches yet. And Giulia looked great as well. I very much enjoyed this women's match. I enjoyed all the women's matches tonight.
No, this was good.
Great. I honestly love that Kelani proved that she can go. She proved it. Nobody can tell her that she can't. She hung in that ring with one of the best Japanese strong style women in wrestling from the last 10 years. I said it.
No, I mean, I think you're on. I think you're on the money with that. I thought that Kelani, she did a really good job in keeping up with Giulia. I think it was a great test for Kelani, and she showed that she can hang. I mean, look, she's a former Women's North American champion. I think she's done a great job being champion. And she was showcasing that. Yeah, I can hang. Just give me an opportunity, and she's going to get another opportunity next week because she's going to be in the last chance match with Jada Parker. OJ, who's the last one?
Ren Sinclair.
Hey, real quick, I want to highlight my guy. You know, it's funny. We were talking about you earlier. Let's highlight him. Damian Jones. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. I promise I can read. Good afternoon, all. What's going on, Damian Jones? It's great to see you, sir. It's been a while. Hope all is well. George mentioned that Andre Chase is going to come back stronger, right? Because after that segment, someone said, "Yo, Chase," and something's going to happen. But I think it's done with Chase U. He's going to come back revamped. I don't know what that looks like, but he's definitely going to have to come back revamped. Because he just can't. They just can't bring back Chase U after them calling it off here. We got Jeffrey. He says, I don't think anyone turned on him, but Letty was on the opposite team because she didn't remember anything. I remember that. I think that was like 5 or 6.
That's me. I don't watch any of the Fast and Furious movies, and I don't plan on it.
And you know, it's fair. I you know what? They just went out of space, I think, in the last movie. Someone correct me about that, please, because I forget. Dom Toretto, he lives his life 1/4 mile at a time.
A quarter of a mile at a time.
Quarter of a mile. Thank you. You know what? I appreciate you helping me with that because I butcher that. He's gonna bring back.
Why, of all people, from the NXT roster?
Wow!
Jacket time again. I'm gonna be upset.
No, because you know what? Jeffrey's a fraud. He pretends to be my friend. He pretends to be someone who's like, yeah, you can sit at the cool table, Jack. And then meanwhile, just as I leave, hey, look at his shitty pants because he sucks. You are a liar, Jeffrey. You are a liar. You have deceived me for the last time, Jeffrey. I know what you did that for. You wanted a reaction out of me, and you got one out of me. Now I'm very upset. You know what? You know what I'm gonna do? You know what I'm gonna do? Russell, no. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm mad. That's a gift. You know what I'm gonna do? I want everyone to know this right now. Hashtag. I'm going to write an angry white woman letter. Jeffrey, you are screwed. Where's my pen?
Write an angry white woman letter.
I can't find.
Anyways, after all that with Giulia, who is not a white woman but Italian Japanese, we have Ava Ray backstage announcing to all the people that lost their qualifying matches that they're going to have some last chance matches next week. Fatal 4s for all of them. With Lexus King saying that he's happy and grateful for the chance, but before that we had Eddie say, wait a minute, everybody else's match went fine, mine got interfered, I should just get the match. With Lexus King saying, I speak for everybody when I say thank you for giving us all one more chance. So basically the roles are reversing. Lexus is turning face or baby face, and Eddie is going to turn heel. One way or another, he's going to flip out on somebody. He's going to destroy somebody. With next week, the match technically for the men's one is supposed to be all of them are baby face, so to speak, but Lexus King is like somewhere-ish in the middle looking like. I mean, that facial hair says it all. And Eddie Thorpe is right now transitioning from babyface to turning into a straight heel. And then you got Axiom and Cedric Alexander, who are full-fledged faces. And the women actually have 2 faces, 2 heels. Well, 2 heels, 1 face, and 1 stuck in the middle because we have no idea if the no quarter catch crew are faces or heels in this moment.
That's true.
They might just be neutral at this point.
You know,
meanwhile,
that segment, I mean, just real quick, I mean, Eddie, you know, we talked about the stuff. I just felt like it's important to throw out here because of context. But, you know, Eddie, he keeps, I'm sorry, let me do this again. Eddie keeps crying. He's whining so much. Like, you know, you mentioned it and you said it. And he says, oh, well, you know, like my match was interfered. Why do I have to go against these 3 other guys? And Ava's even sitting there saying like, "Yo, I'm giving you everything you want. What do you want?" And when he grabs Ava,
listen, I think it's the fairest way for everybody who didn't get a chance to make it in the qualifying matches to get one more chance to try. I mean, if they just made another pair for this, all of them would have complained. So this is a better solution. And if you don't like it, Eddie, go cry to Shawn Michaels. Oh, wait, you can't go crying to Shawn Michaels because of what happened a little later, which after all that with the people who didn't win, Axiom is up from behind, though. Dave was talking to them, telling him how I told the tag division I want to see people that deserve a chance to go after you two for the title. It has been working out well because they're literally just fighting everywhere, which is not what I wanted. So next week, there's going to be a battle royal to determine your number one contenders. And Axiom is upset about potentially having to work twice in one night when Nathan has to remind him, you didn't qualify for the Iron Survivor match. I did.
He did. And that was kind of a dick move.
Yes.
Could win. Yeah.
It's always been like that from the beginning. Nathan always feels like he secretly has to try to one-up Axiom, and there's no reason to do so. But after all that, Eddie sees Ava. She's trying to walk out the door, and he grabs her, and she tells him, do not touch me. And then Josh Briggs and that man that was with them from last week, I do not remember his name, so I'm not going to put his name.
Right.
Butcher.
I know what you're talking about. I know exactly what you're talking about. Do not come at her.
Somebody pushes the door and Ava gets hit. And I see a slight hint of black, but I also saw something that looked a little shiny, almost like a pleatherish material, so to speak. So it's not Eddie that moved the door. I felt like that might have been Briggs on accident.
Mm-hmm. No, we know who it was. It was the guy from OTM, and I forget who the other guy. But he pushed him into the door, and that's when it slammed into Ava's face.
And then their medical helping her.
Real quick, I just wanted to highlight this. Don't be surprised if The Rock show up. No, I don't think The Rock's going to show up on NXT. I don't see it.
I said this before when we were talking about Lance on Hawaii on NXT when he got signed. Just because you're part of the bloodline, you don't need to be included in the story right away. Yes, you can mention that you're related to the bloodline somehow, that you're part of the family in one way or another. But not everybody needs to be coming in and including all that. Blah, blah, blah. I don't. Okay.
I just wanted to. I wanted to highlight this because Jeffrey wanted to make sure let us know, like he knows he was just trolling. Good job. You really got at that.
Every other day when doing an unpopular review when I wouldn't let him kiss my ass. So.
Wait, what? Who's kissing? Who's kissing what ass?
Elvis likes kissing everybody's ass who agrees with him, but I do not. So.
I don't listen to him. He's under. Listen, when you're under 5'8", I don't listen to you. I just it's my except very few, and that's the executive consultant. Like I listen to people. OTM needs to be kicked out of the battle royal. That's very rude of you, George Samuel Lewis.
Over the top rope in the battle royal.
It's funny. I'm glad that Todd mentioned this. He said bring back scripts. So I saw when Chase U went out last week. I forget what his name is now, right? Like his actual. Cool. And he wrote like, damn, Chase U still owes me money. I just thought that was so great. Continuing this stuff. But yeah, no, I think the segment did a few things. It showed Eddie's making this transformation from babyface to heel. We got the tag teams going through.
The heartbreak kid in Shawn Michaels getting upset at him and then shoving him to a wall and telling him you do not put your hands on women.
Matter of fact, Jeffrey pointed out here that was Sean Hickenbotham. Like that was even Shawn Michaels. That was like the man himself being like, "What are you doing?" I said, "Sean, where has this been this whole time?" But what else do we have here? I know we have the Trick Williams promo. So why don't we get into that and then we'll get to the main event and we'll do a commercial break before the main event. So please, why don't we break down this Trick Williams promo, madam? Unless there's something I'm missing.
Williams making his entrance into the ring and everybody starts going along with it the way that they normally do. He says Ava's getting attention medically, but that she's gonna be fine because we know we're bloodline.
I did like that play. I just want to throw real quick. I like that play on words, but go ahead.
He said that Chase U has ended, that it was sad. There were people upset, that they were crying, that there were shocked faces, especially when he saw that Ridge won. And that he said that he will make
shut up.
become champion, he will make sure that that will never happen, and that he's mentioned a list of names of people who have worked their way from this current version of NXT that have moved up, made NXT what it is now. He mentioned DIY, Braun Breaker.
He did.
Stratton.
Chase U. He did mention Chase U and Mello.
Yes, and as he said some of those names, not a lot of pop for some of them. The only ones that got somewhat of a pop was a bit for DIY and a bit for Mello. Because chanting Mello when he made that face, like, I do not want to say this man's name after what he did to me.
But you know what I love about that? That's continuity. Look, the last time that these two saw each other, they were in the midst of a I don't know if the word is hot feud, but they were in the middle of a feud. So instead of him just being like, and Carmelo Hayes, so that was great.
Having a disagreement and needing to fight it out.
Right, but even then, when brothers have fights, sometimes they're like, it's almost like if you give credit, you're like, I don't want to, but I'm going to give credit because I'm not a hater. So I thought that was really cool as hell. But
then Rich Holland comes in. He says wherever he goes, controversy follows him, like mentioning how he's going to win, etc., etc. And that apparently the word controversy is a magic word because up on the Titantron, Mr. Eric Bischoff, our graphic for the night, comes up. He says, NXT is looking really hot and entertaining. This is something that I don't want to miss. And we want to see the best from these two. So he's coming to NXT next week. And if Ridge wants the title so badly and Trick wants to keep it so badly, we just going to find out how badly they both want it. And then by the time he's done, they'll want to destroy each other. And we're going to see him next week.
I love this. I'm a big fan of Eric Bischoff. I haven't listened to his podcast in a while. But when he was the Raw general manager from 02 to 05, I honestly think there was no Raw general manager that can touch him. Honestly, I forget who took over after. Pretty sure people can name names. I'm like, oh shit, he was the person. But Eric Bischoff is just, I like Eric Bischoff. So him coming to NXT, I heard. I love this Jeffrey. I'm sorry, Jeffrey, and he says he's back and better than ever. He's back. Oh my god, I loved when he came in 02. And that was his theme. And I said, I don't know if he's ever been in WWE before. So I always thought that right there, controversy creates cash. And that was something too. I was saying before we started the show, but me and Russell and Dar, we had a conversation before this. And I was like, oh man, I almost feel like when he said controversy, I should have known like, oh, Eric Bischoff, because controversy creates cash. But it's going to be interesting to see Mr. Bischoff, Eazy-E, on NXT next week. So if you guys can go to NXT and you are in the Florida country, it's a country, right?
It's a state.
When did that happen?
I can look up exactly when Florida officially became a part of the United States of America. But while I do that, we had Charlie Dempsey and Ren Sinclair talking after the commercial break. They were catching up with Miles and Tavion, asking what the hell happened to the two of them while all this was going on. With Charlie catching Ren up on everything involving the people who did not win the qualifying match. And he said that all the people that didn't qualify are going to get a last chance match to officially become the final member of the Iron Survivor Challenge match. And he mentioned everybody that's going to be in there. Cora, Kelani, and Jada, and Ren figuring out, like, how am I supposed to beat all three of them? What am I going to do? And they're trying to calm her down. And I just want to say that Florida officially became a state on March 3rd, 1845.
Oh.
And then commentary is hyping up the rest of the show for next week. And then we get informed as well on social media that X-Pac will also be joining the show.
Yes, George. I'm sorry, I mix you guys up, George and Jeffrey. Forgive me, guys. But George says Xbox going to be on NXT next week. Absolutely. And we got when Ron Descent
because I refuse to answer that question.
Sure, we got Which question? Jeffrey mentions. Yeah. Oh, okay, okay, fair enough. I don't care for this person, so
I'm not going to get into politics. This is a show about wrestling. We're not going to get into politics on here because that's a whole different can of worms that I do not feel the need to open.
I don't like anything with worms or cans. But Jeffrey says, I miss when he did the 3-minute stick. I love that. Actually, that was fantastic. Matter of fact, an Eric Bischoff moment, and I feel like anyone who's been was watching at that time when he did this stuff, the thing that he did at the wedding, that SmackDown, when Billy and Chuck were supposed to get married, and he says, 3 minutes. Wait a minute, that's it. And it was so good because it legitimately looked like an old man. This is 2002, by the way. And he looked like an old man until you see him rip off the mask and the prosthetics and all this stuff. It was crazy. It was fantastic. So, Eric Bischoff, he and the stuff that he did in WCW, there's a consultant can vouch for me here. Anytime we talk, a lot of times I jump in and say I was a WCW kid, so I knew the stuff with Eric Bischoff. Eric Bischoff was just always entertaining to me, and it's going to be interesting to see what happens next week. Jeffrey wants to sit here and say, "Just call me Jeff Jack for Clarence." Will do, sir. Will do. George, he says, no, he tells Good Chris, no, it's not going to be Cora Jade. I can see Kelani Jordan or Ren Sinclair. So, real quick before we do a commercial, we talked about this.
When they put an emphasis on a couple people for an upcoming match, there's a high probability that one of them is going to be winning. So with the men, they put a little more emphasis on Lexis and Eddie during that segment. And with that one, they put a little bit more on Ren and Kelani. So it could be one of those, but.
So I'm gonna do some predictions right here, and I want to hear your prediction. So for the women, I think Kelani gets in there, and I think for the men, I think give it to Lexis King because I can see Eddie going on the deep end, and maybe that's who he's gonna feud with next. So I'm gonna go with Lexis and Kelani. Who do you got? And chat, please join us. And who do you see your predictions for the last spots for next week? So who do you got, Sabrina?
I feel like Kelani would definitely bring the same energy and heat that she brought into this match with Giulia for next week. And if not Kelani, then maybe Ren will some way, somehow sneak her way into winning this match. So Kelani's my first pick. Ren's my second for the women. And for the men, I feel like Lexis could possibly be the fifth one to win this and somehow sneak a win over Eddie unintentionally. And then let's say it happens, match is over, Lexis wins, Eddie finally snaps and he turns and beats the crap out of Lexis. And then they revisit their feud with the roles reversed.
That's interesting. Another interesting one, Good Chris in chat says Cora Jade and Axiom. Now, Axiom is actually an interesting pick here because if he's in the match with Nathan Fraser, there's that story right there. So in a way, I don't see Cora, but I do see Axiom. In a way, I do see that. Jeff says Kelani, I can see too. We got George who said I can see Kelani Jordan and Lexis King, and George also says to Chris, I have to disagree with you, homeboy. So he disagreed with you. He said homeboy. And then we also got Jeff who says, are you used to his sideburns? Not with the dye this time, Sabrina talking.
I still don't like them damn sideburns. I feel like he should, as he's transitioning into this babyface character, just get rid of them. Because those sideburns scream heel. And he's not trying to be a heel no more. So shave them off. Because they look ugly.
Shave them off. So we're going to play one last commercial. We're going to get to this main event. This is actually interesting. I had the opportunity to join the executive consultant and Big Daddy Cool. They do shorts. I was asked to be a part of this. We played this game called Guess the Wrestler. You'll see who the winner is. We're going to play this commercial, and we'll be back for the main event.
Guess the wrestler. Let's go.
Male, female?
Female.
In NXT?
No.
Was she ever in NXT?
She was.
Is she currently on the main roster?
No more.
Is she in AEW?
No.
Blonde or brunette?
Multicolored.
Still wrestling?
No.
Oh, no. Tegan Knox.
Tegan Knox is the answer.
Yeah,
Good
boy.
job.
Record time.
That was good. That was damn good.
Oh, my legs. Stop the match. Stop the match.
Tegan Knox is good.
What is that pink thing supposed to do? What is that pink thing supposed to do? How dare y'all do that?
Wait, time out. Why is I love
Guys,
shut
make
up.
that picture.
No, first things first, real quick. I want to take the floor here. First things first. So first thing, I like the picture of me because I look fucking fantastic. But first off, why is Z so much bigger than me? Am I facing Z the Giant? Am I facing? I don't watch anime a lot, but isn't there an anime called Attack on Titans? Am I fighting a fucking Titan? And you know what? I would take him down for what Sabrina Estella. Yeah, look, I don't have to flare my arms all the time. And we're not. It's Sabrina and I can't keep doing this up all the time. Stop playing that damn GIF, please. But let me tell you something. I don't know when we're having this ladder match. All I know is when it happens, I'm going to win. And I hope that our background music, I don't want it to be Limp Bizkit. I want it to be the one, I don't know if you guys remember this, SummerSlam 2005, it was The Remedy. I forgot what that band name was. Someone Google that, if you will. But that was, I want that as the background music from when me and Z to Silent. And I want our production to be, who's the guy who directed Transformers? Michael Bay, right? I want Michael Bay to direct our promo package. Yeah, Z looked very silent. Z looked like a fucking giant. What is that? The best picture? Who's running this? What is this? Amateur hour? Seether, yes. Thank you. He found it. There we go. Right there. No, because Limp Bizkit, you was running over WWE. And same thing with Creed, because they used to have Weather and My Sacrifice. I don't know if you guys remember that song. Maybe I'm showing my age. Maybe I'm just too hyped because I had a fireball. Maybe it's terrible. I don't know. But let's get into this main event here.
Speaking of something that was fire, we had the NXT Women's North American Championship match with
that's the main event.
Tatum Paxley, which, first of all, did anybody else?
Who's giving me PTSD? This is PTSD. This is someone's trying to sabotage our show. I'm sorry, Wrestling Doll. I know that you didn't ask for any of this yelling. This is Thanksgiving week. I want to be thankful, but right now I'm not thankful for the creative production right now because I just got PTSD. I hate that song. You know I hate Scooby-Doo. I hate him. Wrestling Doll, take over.
If you can put me in one of those comfy shark cages, I'll be fine hanging from the ladder.
No one's putting you on nothing because I'm not going to allow that at all. But carry on.
Anyways, I will just say this. Did anybody else notice that the crowd was singing along to Tatum Paxley's song?
No, I don't listen to them.
Love Tatum Paxley down there. So, I mean,
they
might give her a bigger push. I mean, that woman has improved drastically as far as like character work. She's improved even more in the ring. She's gone from just being the other girl in Diamond Mine that was trying to join so badly to making this crazy character her own and then some, to where the people absolutely love her. And you also have Fallon Henley coming out with the rest of Fatal Influence, which match was great. Tatum is a very talented and innovative wrestler. I mean, how many people do you see doing a crossbody to your opponent into the turnbuckle? Do you see that very often? Because I sure haven't. That was the first time I had seen that.
Emma used to do that. Emma used to do that. You talking about like a crossbody in the turnbuckle?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, Emma used to do that.
Well, shout out to Emma, to Neil Dashwood.
There we go.
Married and eventually having a child soon.
Good for her.
But match was great. I mean, I really didn't have any zero complaints. It went well. I mean, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I liked that Fallon did win and won clean without any interference from the other two members of Fatal Influence and JC Jane and Jasmine Nix. That spot that Tatum did when JC was about to hit her, but she knew it was going to happen, and so she kicked her back. I like when the baby faces are smart and not always falling for the tricks of the heels in wrestling. For example, the celebration with Mariah May and Mina. Instead of getting hit with the champagne bottle, she speared Mariah May into a table, even though they slid from another table into the one they were supposed to spear into. But match was great. It was fun. I enjoyed it. Congrats to Fallon for retaining, and a bigger pop for Tatum Paxley, even though at the end, Fatal Influence all beat her down because they can. And then out comes one Miss Gigi to the rescue. And who does she go after first? This man's favorite right here, because we all know their history. with everything that happened over the last few years, which we all know he's going to be very upset and rant about. But I would just say we all saw that she picked up the doll with the orange hair, so we knew that she was coming back. I didn't plan for it to happen, but I wanted to wear the shirt anyway, and it coincided well, so why not? But I enjoyed the match, and the ending was fun, and it's going to write out a great storyline, and I think this pairing is going to work better for Gigi, even more so than when they tried to write a storyline where they had Ariana and her be an unexpected duo and try to make Gigi more of a lady, which we all know wasn't going to happen. You have the floor, and you may now rant.
First things first, shout out to one JC Jane to main event. What is this, her third main event? Good for JC Jane. The avatar known as Fallon Henley, she did good. She didn't disappoint us. What are we doing here? Sabrina, really, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? JC, she got rid of what's his name? Dolan Gigi. Now Gigi's coming back. Now she want to make Gigi noise and do all Gigi things. I don't get what we're doing. Aren't you supposed to be like cleaning Ariana's Grace's shoes? Aren't you supposed to be learning all these other things? Why are you trying to get in the mix here when JC has been living it up in the main event? I don't understand what's happening here. It's actually really upsetting. When I saw this immediately, I forgot who in the chat said, hey, you guys should do a watch along. We probably shouldn't, because guess what's going to happen? There's going to be a lot of yelling. You're probably going to see a vein in my neck. I'm just upset at all of this. I'm happy for JC for retaining the Women's North American Championship. Fantastic. She is doing a great job. Gigi, I just wish. Oh, Todd. We appreciate you, Todd. I want you to understand that. You are seen and you are noted. But I don't know if we should do this, because you know what? I get upset. Look, I was happy the Kelani lost, because when she tried to get in Fatal Influence's business, and then she went to the main roster to a bunch of people who don't even work here, and now I have to deal with Gigi Dolan. It's just very upsetting. I don't like any of this. But you know what? You know what's going to happen? I don't remember JC ever losing to Gigi. So, in my eyes, what's going to happen is Gigi's going to be sent back to wherever she went. You didn't see, I just threw a kick in. You can't see it because the camera's too far off. And I'm happy about all this. So, you know what's going to happen? Gigi's going to get beat down. Tatum Paxley is going to get beat down. What's going to happen is JC and French is just going to lay people out. So, I see in the chat right now, I see Jeffrey says, that was JC's fault. That was her fault. I disagree. We got George who says, bad guy. JC did not main event. Yes, she did. She was in the main event 3 times. I'm sorry. You should sue your glasses doctor, because you're wrong. Fatal Snooze got in George. George and Jeffrey. What's this? Oh, Jeffrey says, I'll agree. JC was in the main event. See, he agreed. She was in the main event. Good job, Jeffrey. I'm not going to read the rest of this stuff because I think he fell on the keyboards. But I'm not a big fan of this. Why is Gigi here? What is Gigi going to accomplish here? Rosalinda, I'm going to pass the floor to you. What is Gigi going to accomplish here now that she's in the mix with JC and friends?
Well, what I think she's going to accomplish is she's going to help Tatum stand up to these boys, as people have called Fatal Influence before, number 1. Number 2, this pairing might give Gigi some more popularity prior to when they attempted to do this with Ariana Grace, who is basically working in TNA unofficially with her father. And number 3, I think this pairing could actually work well, and they could probably do like some matches together in the future at some point, because they are both seen as like people that don't fit in, or they're like outcasts, or people call them weird or freaks or such because of the things that they like. So I think this pairing could work much better, and I think Gigi would benefit a little bit more, only in the sense of people paying more attention to her once again. She'll get a little bit more TV time. Maybe she'll be a little weirded out by the doll thing at first, but understand Tatum's view on things at least. And Tatum might make more friends besides the dolls that she had in Once Upon a Time when she used to be obsessed with Lila Valkyria.
You know what I'm going to do for you guys? This is what I'm going to do. I don't know if it's going to work, but I'm just going to turn my chair around because this is what I can't do. I'm going to just turn it around. I'm going to do a spin here. I would keep doing it, but it's wired. But I'm very upset about
wireless mic for next time, so you can do that.
Thank you. But it is good to see Gigi Dolan back. You know, she's been out for a while.
10 months.
How many months? It's really been that long? Wow. I didn't notice. I know that, and we talked about it a little bit off air, that she was at the recent, what was it? What show? I know it's in Florida. What
show in Lakeland, Florida.
Right. So that should have been an indication that she was going to be coming back. So it's good.
Plus, people put up pictures online that she came back. So it was not so much of a surprise.
I'm going to do it one more time for you guys. Hold on, wait. I'm sorry, give me a minute.
I knocked something down. That's terrible. I'm here still, guys. I just fucked up.
Well, anyway, while he fixes that, that was the NXT program. Oh, look, we have him back on screen. That was fast.
Probably should not do this ever again without not it being. I knocked down my cup, and the handle broke. Probably never buy cups from Five Below ever again. Anyway, that's the show. Let's talk.
Use one of these special water bottles, so even if it falls down, it doesn't break.
Look, it broke. That's terrible. I hate you. What's the clip with me spinning? If that's
Yeah.
The
clip is you spinning and then knocking something over, then us not being able to see you for 5 seconds. Apparently, is a clip.
I love it. Anyway, real quick though, this week is things here. All seriousness. I like messing with you guys. I hope you guys always know that.
Minus 2 days, followed by Black Friday, and then a few days, and then we get Survivor Series.
Yes.
And then we get Cyber Monday next Monday, which
we are really in the holiday season here, guys. So real quick here, before we talk about the stuff to watch on here on Popular View, we just want to say here and say to you guys, it is. I'm gonna make sure. Oh, it's 11:31. Okay, I'm sorry, I couldn't see my thing, but it's 11:31. You guys are with us. We're talking NXT. We're talking wrestling. You guys have been in the chat. You have dealt with us talking about seriously about wrestling and dealing with the nonsense. We appreciate that, guys. So I want to simply say here, it's Thanksgiving week, and I am thankful for you guys for being with us and joining us, subscribing to Unpopular Review. We really appreciate you guys being here for the NXT review show, and we will tell you guys watch the Monday Night Raw. The NXT, I mean, obviously NXT, but the Mike Knox and AEW show. There's so much content. We're going to plug all that stuff, but we just want to sit here and say thank you guys for joining us. We always appreciate that, and it doesn't go unnoticed. So with all that said here, Wrestling Doll, I got one more thing to play here, and it is literally something for everyone. My table is like, I'm going to get a wireless headphones so that way I could constantly spin. I think that you guys like that, so maybe we'll do that. I'm sorry, I'm trying to look for the... Oh, here it is. So Wrestling Doll, why don't you tell the lovely people what they got here on Unpopular Review?
we have something for everyone. On Monday nights at 6, you have the Mike Knox Show for the intelligent wrestling fan. Talk all things happening in the wrestling community. On Monday nights after Raw, we have the Raw Review Show with Freckled Sensei and East, the executive consultant. NXT Tuesdays with myself and the great Grand Slam Pooba. AEW Dynamite Review on Wednesdays with Dan the Man, Cactus Katie, and Venomous Vinny. Top 5 predictions and or anything on Thursdays. And the Friday Night SmackDown Penitentiary Review Show on Saturday afternoons with the Zia Silence and Vic the Mark.
Absolutely. And also too on entertainment right now, next week, if you guys like Superman and Lois, next week is the last episode that we are doing the Trio of Destiny. We're looking at other content to be reviewing. So in December, we're going to be doing What If and Squid Game. So I don't know if you guys saw the first season, but we're going to be doing season 2. That's the day after Christmas. And what if I got to look at the thing, but it's probably the week before or that week for what if you guys like Marvel content. Real quick here, we got I appreciate this, Jeffrey, because he just mentioned there are JBL wireless headphones on Amazon. I have that, so I might be getting that because I will be spinning in this chair for a fucking while because I'm a little annoyed. So I'm going to spin, and I don't want to break any more cups. I like this. This had a handle, and now I don't have a handle, and I'm probably going to get crazy glue. George, he said, "Bad Guy Jack, did you see the Sonic 3 new trailer? Because it's better than the first." Real quick here, I'm going to bore you guys here with some Sonic. Look, I'm wearing a Sonic shirt. Matter of fact, hold up. Yeah, let's bring my boy in here. Sonic, did I see the trailer? Yes, he did. That's how he sounds. Yes, I saw the trailer. It was great. You know what I loved about that trailer? You get a little mix of Sonic Adventure 2, if you ever played that game. It was on the Dreamcast. And Shadow the Hedgehog. I did not like that game. I was not a big fan of that. That's the one where Shadow has a gun. He legitimately has a gun. Like, he's shooting people. One of my friends used to go at Grand Theft Hedgehog. But nonetheless, I am excited to see that movie December 20th. That's the weekend of my nephew. But I'm going to find a way to go see Sonic the Hedgehog because I am a big fan. Right, Sonic? Yes, he is. He said that. See? So, boom. Please check out Sonic Hedgehog 3. It's going to be great.
And also, we are having our end of the year award show happening next week. And we are nominated as well.
You know what? You want to
well being best show. So if anybody wants to vote, everybody vote for whoever they please. But if you see any of
no, Russell, look, you are a sweetheart. You are great. I'm so grateful to work with you because you are a darling. But no, vote for us. I'm just going to tell you flat out. You can vote for Monday Night Raw. You can vote for the Mike Knox show. There's a lot of great content here. I'm not going to tell you that these shows are not good. They're great. They're a part of the team.
It would make me happy if we won best show for the second year in a row.
Because we're the best. What are we talking about here? You're talking about the spectacular, the supremely talented Sabrina, Estella, the wrestling doll. You're talking about the great grandson, Pooba, aka Back. I broke a fucking cup. You guys better vote for me. I'm not gonna look at this. I'm gonna show you again. I broke a cup. I needed this cup. My tea was in this.
So you're saying we're the very best, like no one ever was?
I love you. Yes, absolutely. Please vote for if I'm not gonna hold you. If I see the executive consultant win, and look, he's great, he's talented. I have a lot of respect for the man. But if he wins, you talk about crash outs, you might not want to see me on stage. I'm gonna have a fucking muffin, and I'm gonna sit here and start shooting on people. And listen, let me tell you something. When the bad guy shoots, tell me absolutely not. That's disgusting. I don't miss at all. I fucking blast things. I sit here and knock shit the fuck up. Am I cursing too much? Am I bothering you guys? You know what? I'm going to stop fucking cursing. No more fucking cursing for me. That's the show. Sabrina, Estella. I'm sorry. I'm hot. You know, we had Gigi attack JC. We have someone flaring his arms the whole entire show. But you guys are great. Tell them where they can find you because you have YouTube content. Tell them your stuff, madam.
Well, you can find me on YouTube as the unofficial camerawoman, where I go throughout Central Florida and occasionally South to film some of the lovely people in the independent scene and put their matches on YouTube for the world to see. And with some of these companies, that's the way they run. Take either way too long or don't put the footage out at all.
There we go. Subscribe to that channel. That channel is growing. You do a fantastic job on that. I have a audio podcast with one, Shay Sawyer. We talk about the week in wrestling. We talked about last week. We talked about Full Gear. We talked about Monday Night Raw. We had some NXT talk. I was yelled at for bad mouthing Chase University. I don't understand why, but no one ever.
That was going to happen.
Why?
We know how much he loves Chase U.
You know, I remember a time where my mother first told me she liked Bill Goldberg, and I just remember just rip my heart out now, you know? but no one tells me anything. But it's episode 85. We're going to go to episode 86. And like I said, nothing's official, but we're looking at a collab for Unpopular View, Big Pop, and we're going to do a prediction show for Survivor Series. So please join us for that if you guys I know Thursday's Thanksgiving, but Friday, if you got time and free, please join us. We got Good Chrissy says he loves Wrestling Doll too, as you should. She's fantastic. George says that I've played Sonic Adventure 2. I've beaten it and surprised you don't like Sonic. I love Sonic Adventure 2. I don't like Shadow the Hedgehog. I was never a fan of that game. But I love Sonic Adventure 2. It's my top 5 favorite Sonic 3D games. We got George. He says, I'm sorry, I didn't click it. AEW Full Gear was not that good. I didn't see it. I only saw the pre-show stuff, the 0 hour. Did you said you watched it?
I said I saw clips.
Okay.
Instagram.
No, that's fair. That's fair. And we got Good Chrissy says, good night, Bad Guy and Bad Guy Jack and Wrestling Dog. Listen, thank you guys. We hope that you have a great Thanksgiving. We hope that you enjoyed this show. I lost my voice, but I'm going to be yelling at people at my job tomorrow. I'm pretty sure you're going to be doing the same. Not yelling at people, but we'll figure it out. We have the award show. We hope to see you guys there. Where's the outro? Let's look for the outro. I'm sorry. I should be better at this. Oh, there's an outro. So with all that said, hey, thank you guys. And we'll see you guys next week for NXT Tuesday with the Undisputed Duo. See you guys.